Hey everybody, Swamp Cleaner here, back with another video for you. This one is going to be the post-vice presidential debate reaction, plus talking about a little bit of the stuff that's happening with Trump's COVID incident, and now that the fact that the next debate is going to be all virtual, and Trump and company saying F that, and I agree. Now, first off, last night was the vice presidential debate and I watched it for the most part. I didn't see The Fly or whatever this is, and that I'm going to get to that and as to why, in my opinion, Pence won the debate. And I'm on the hashtag here on Twitter, and of course, remember, Twitter is a cesspool. So all it is full of lefties screeching, crying, and whining, talking about mansplaining, talking about The Fly, talking about his red eye, anything to divert the attention away from the fact that Kamala Harris was steamrolled. Um, Pence was very good at controlling and using up some extra time, but he was being nice and cordial about it, and he was still able to hammer in his points. He he got her off base when he interrupted a couple times, and she did this cringy thing where she's like, "You're interrupting me, okay? Okay, now I'm gonna talk." She did this like couple 3 seconds of like staring him down like it's some kind of like I am woman, hear me like watch me roar, hear me scream or something like that. Like it's one of those kind of things, and it was just cringe. It seemed very snarky, very smug. She didn't actually say a lot of substance. I mean, yeah, I know at some points Pence was like that too because she was trying to hit him really, in between the ribs when it comes to this COVID stuff. But you have to remember, he got her good when he said that the doctors even said back in March that if we didn't do a lot of what we did, we'd be in a worse shape. We could have had as many as 2 million lives dead, but we're at around the ballpark of where the experts said that if we did things to control the spread of COVID and to take care of people, we would be between 150 to 250,000 dead. We are right now at 210,000. We are right in that ballpark of doing things for this year. So I don't see what the problem is. I don't see what else could have been done. But they use this like in hindsight attack, and Pence really tried to go after her. But like that was her best part. After that, he really got her on a bunch of different things. He hit her hard when it comes to jailing of black people. She wasn't doing her job as the prosecutor in California, as the attorney, as the attorney over there. She tried to she tried to get him on the Fine People hoax, but he slammed her and got back on track with that. He really did a good job with getting rid of that Fine People hoax because he brought up the fact that he condemned white supremacists, neo-Nazis, Trump numerous times, and David Duke and all these people, and he actually tied Biden to some of the hold his feet to the fire to some of the kind of racially charged things he said. So there's a lot of going back and forth, and that's why Pence won this, in my opinion. Oh man, I'm trying to remember here off the top of my head some of these other good things that he did. But I mean, if you want to look down at some of these crazy lefties on here, this one here is the best. This tweet here is really out there for like the leftist mentality because lefties are trying to take over and this hashtag by saying that there's no way in hell Pence won the debate. They're just gaslighting. But here's this one's crazy. If you are a woman and you think Pence won the debate, I encourage you to look hard at your own relationship. Does your own partner cut you off when you speak? Do they disregard your feelings? Are you in second place in your own relationship? So, geez, they're saying that they're admitting that she lost the debate, that she came in second, but they're trying to twist it into saying this is somehow domestic abuse. that was that's out there. Like for me, that is some crazy uh, some crazy narrative twisting. That's some pretzel logic, if anything. I mean, this debate was really good. He hammered her. He got her good on the economy, this Green New Deal, because she was behind it. She's behind it. Plus, she's also behind banning fracking. She said it. We've seen the videos. He got her on both of those, hands down. There is no comparison. Okay, so she looked snarky. She didn't really have a good uh, way to respond because she just kept on going back to Joe. She didn't answer about packing the courts. That's another massive one. I almost forgot about that. Packing the courts. She just said, she turned, looked at the camera and said, well, you got, the people want to vote. And then she also dodged it again, saying back, well, back in 18, no, we're not talking about 1800s. We're talking about right now. So yeah, she completely was dodging those questions. So she looked a little bit desperate at times and she looked a little condescending and a little snooty. And Pence, even though he had pink eye and BuzzFeed trying to connect pink eye to COVID and concerns over Pence, anything to cling to a narrative that's other than the fact that she lost really bad. There's the fly. So they're trying to compare the fly to Hillary Clinton, and the fly picks the loser. So let's go down here. If Pence won, it's only because everyone was cheering for the fly. Okay. I'm just going to leave this here. What's that? Okay, 4,000 tweets to... Oh, 100,000. Yeah, that's because, the Twitter algorithm. Let me just... see, look at these polls. These polls are not going the way these people are thinking. Trump cult, death cult. Seriously believe Trump, Pence, or dodged every question, changed the subject, backtrack. Just projection. Oh, okay. Fly 10, Pence 0. And failed. Someone's really at his job. Okay, yeah, to plexiglass. That's because the other side wanted it. Pence was testing negative over and over and over. Winter is coming. Oh, did he though? Seems like the fly made a better argument. Oh, okay. This was actually kind of cheeky. He said, "Help this campaign fly." Joe was trying to campaign off the fly. That's how you know they did really, really bad. They're talking about the fly. They're talking about his red eye. They are trying to say he mansplained. You should have seen them on TV saying he mansplained. It's crazy. And you know what? I'm going to juxtapose. I'm going to get off this debate because that's pretty much wrapped up. Like, he won. A lot of the polls are saying 70 to 30 to Pence. He slammed her good. He was nice and cordial. He got his points in. If anything, he is the yin to the yang of Donald Trump. Trump is uncouth. He is vulgar. He's nasty. Pence is very dignified. He's calculated, and I think Trump does need to take a few pointers or take a few lessons and learn something from Pence, and he needs to refine for the next debate. And we're actually going to talk about the fact that the election commission has just said a couple hours ago that the next debate's going to be virtual, and Donald Trump is like, screw that, and I agree, because you know what that's going to happen, right? Let me bring up Donald Trump Jr. You know what's going to happen if they do a virtual debate, right? They're going to wire Joe Biden up with the earpiece so they can talk to him and tell him what to say if his teleprompter breaks and if the cue cards get wet by the coffee spilt by the new interns. Because his other intern is actually going to be the moderator for the debate. So, I mean, if his cue cards screw up or if he loses his notes, he'll have an earpiece in, so they'll tell him his talking points. Because if his teleprompter breaks, they need to tell him what to say, though. Plus, they'll probably have him pumped up with some kind of like cocaine in like ephedrine kind of thing going on here. They'll probably just hop him up, get him goosed up, and he's just gonna go crazy. And this, I can see it happening now, because this is how they say they want to institute muting, the ability to mute candidates. Well, I can just see this here because the moderator used to be Joe Biden's intern, and is in the tank for Joe Biden, of course. They've been seen back in 2016 hanging out with Joe Biden at family outings. They've tweeted, "Never ever Donald Trump, never ever," stuff like that. So they're completely anti-Trump. So I can see what's going to happen is they're going to have them answer, give them both the question, and then they're gonna, when they start sparring, Donald Trump's gonna want to speak up, and he's like, no, no, no. He's gonna mute Donald Trump's like, sir, I'm muting you until you can calm down or something. They're gonna say, sir, you need to calm down, be respectful, and until you can do that, you're gonna stay muted. They're gonna treat him like a kid. They're gonna treat him like it's a Zoom call from a grade 4 class or something like that. And then he's gonna give Biden a whole bunch of time, and Donald Trump's not going to be able to interject, and then he's going to begrudgingly have to unmute Donald Trump. He's going to be able to say something, but then Joe Biden's going to interrupt Donald Trump. He's not going to mute Joe Biden, and then he's going to be like, he'll do something like this. You know what? I actually want to hear what Joe Biden has to say here. And then, oh no, Mr. Trump, I'm muting you again because Joe Biden gets to speak about this because I want to hear what he has to say. He's gonna, like, I am getting out there, but I'm literally thinking that this intern is so far in the tank for Joe Biden that he's just going to be blatantly biased. He's going to cut Donald Trump off. He's going to let Joe Biden speak. He's going to pull a Chris Wallace, but like times 10. It's going to even be worse. And that's why Donald Trump said, I'm not going to, take the night of day to actually like do this virtually because it's BS. And yeah. Donald Trump Jr. said, this is such bullshit. Yeah, let Biden do it from his basement so people can feed him his talking points all night long. GTFO. Yeah, 100% agreed. They're gonna have him wired up, jacked up on drugs. They're gonna have a teleprompter there, notes, people with cue cards. Jill's gonna be in the corner saying, "Go, go, Joe." He's gonna be all like that. And it's. I can just see it now. I mean, it's kind of like one of these Epstein kind of things. Like, I'm not trying to say there's conspiracy between the networks and between the Joe Biden campaign and all this stuff, but I mean, Epstein didn't kill himself, and you've seen these networks before. They have a history of siding with the Democrats. Donna Brazile, who now works for Fox, she fed she fed questions to Hillary, or when she was in the DNC, she fed the questions to the Hillary Clinton campaign before before the debates with Donald Trump. So if that happens, I can see that happening with Joe Biden. I can see the networks even muting Donald Trump themselves uh, if the moderator doesn't mute them. They'll just turn off the sound until Joe Biden starts talking. Who knows? I know I'm just throwing it out there, but why not? At this point, I mean, the mainstream media is completely anti-Trump. I mean, Chris Wallace is a laughingstock. He is a hack, and he just last night he wanted to talk about The Fly. As soon as he came on, he wanted to say, "Well, we got to talk about The Fly." No, you don't. I mean, yes, I know we talked about The Fly with Hillary Clinton, and it's silly, but remember, there's supposed to be partisanship. Chris Wallace is supposed to be one of those. He's not supposed to be one of those pundit people. He's supposed to be one of those unbiased reporter people, like Brett Baer. So, yeah, he's missing the mark when he, as supposedly as a journalist. But of course, all journalists are shit nowadays. So, yeah, but if that's all he got is a fly and his eyes were a little red, and that he was mansplaining to a woman of color, then that's how you know they lost the debate. Oh yeah. All right. And by the way, there's a small thing. Donald Trump is back in the White House, and people are nuts. As you all know, he had the coronavirus, or has the coronavirus still, and they're all claiming he is irresponsible. He's telling the American people that it's the best thing to do is to be a super spreader. No, he's not. These people are irresponsible, trying to make everybody live in fear and destroy the economy, because more people will be affected by a destroyed economy than by COVID. And you need to hear some of this loathing vitriol. And yes, this is from Mark Dice's video. I'm going to take a couple seconds from Mark Dice's video. Thank you, Mark. Fair use and all. You know the deal. But listen to Chris Cuomo just theatrically thought police his way into Donald Trump's mind, and just tell you exactly how Donald Trump has orchestrated this entire thing, and it's all just a game to him, and it's all just theater. No, but he doesn't understand that the president also need to have also, instead of just being a leader and doing things as president, needs to display himself, be out there, showing that he's the commander in chief, because that's what he is. So and Donald Trump isn't the kind of person to lead from behind. He leads from the front. If these people don't like it, then they don't understand what a president's supposed to do. But yeah, just listen to the vitriolic mouth of Chris Cuomo.
Grips of a madman. I hold rallies, and I tell you to ignore masks, and I rip mine off as I vanquish the virus because I am a leader. Fear not, COVID. What a bunch of bullshit. Going back to the White House.
What worse?
Why should we all be in such fear of COVID? Why? The flu kills more younger people than COVID does. The flu kills more people at a higher rate until you get to around that 70, 75 year age range where COVID spikes. And that's the vast majority of the deaths are 70 plus. So, yes, COVID's aspects are different. The virus is different than the flu, but it is similar in death rate, as in a virulent strain of the flu. It's similar a lot of ways in symptoms and how you can get over them. If we have medicines for the flu, we give that to people every year. We can give people, like, they tell them to give them vitamin D. Over-the-counter things, vitamins, minerals, get some zinc, because it stops viruses from replicating. And those are some of the good ways to limit the effects, limit your viral load, and allow your body to defeat this thing that is easily defeatable by 99% of the population. There's no reason that we need to be living in fear over something that is one in a plethora of other viruses that we've been dealing with since the dawn of time. Since humanity has been around, we've been dealing with viruses. Before we ever had medicines, when it was just the human immune system itself, we were dealing with viruses. And nowadays, because of technology and medicine, in my opinion, this is now my opinion, the human immune system is actually weaker now, because the human body can fall back on drugs and pharmaceuticals and therapeutics that we didn't have before. We would just rely on the human body. And I think, for the most part, the human immune system is at a lower state of readiness, on average, than we were maybe even 100 years ago. So, I mean, these people trying to spin, oh, as soon as he takes a mask off, you can see the miasma spreading from his mouth and infecting everybody next to him, and how irresponsible. These people live in fear. They if they had a bunker, they would hide in it. I guarantee maybe some of these people, they're rich enough because of the mainstream media corporations that they work for. I'm sure they're rich enough to get themselves a bunker. Why not go hide in it? Just hide in there for 5 years, come back out, and see what happens. So these people, they ooze the vitriol, they ooze this condescension, and it comes from the politicians and the lefties and the media alike. So this is what you're dealing with when it comes to this election. You're dealing with snarky, smarmy politicians. You're dealing with people who are always changing the rules and who want to change how you vote the last minute because it gives them the advantage. Democrats, I'm talking about you, Nancy Pelosi. And they also do these unhinged conspiracies where, oh, Donald Trump isn't sick. Donald Trump is sicker than ever and he's about to die. Oh, he's causing all this super spreading. Oh, how dare he? Or it's like, no, he's not sick at all. This is just a campaign tactic so he can get the sympathy points. Which is it? I mean, it's either, and some of the people who got sick in these super spreader events were wearing masks. So either masks are not all the way effective, but then they say, oh, no, how dare you? That's fake news. Masks are super effective. But then some people like Rudy Giuliani, who didn't wear a mask, didn't get infected. So, I mean, it's random in a lot of times. So, I mean, it's time to just calm down. But we're in the last month before the election. People are going nuts. This Jennifer Rubin lady is one. She works for the Washington Post, and like Tim Pool said, he heard from his friends at the Washington Post that they are embarrassed to have her there. She was never Trump first in her bio. God dang! See, that's how you know this person's biased. And these people say, no, I'm unbiased when I report. There's my own personal opinions are separate from what I'm reporting when it's on the piece of paper. When they echo in the piece of paper what they're tweeting. So I mean, Donald Trump has COVID, but he's getting over it, and he just tweeted out he's taking next to nothing now, and they're all just like, oh my god, he's not taking his medicine, he's gonna get sick again, he's gonna die. So which is it? It's hilarious. Every single time there's a little bit of change in the narrative, they jump on top of it and devour it, and they're like spit it out and spin it out like, ugh. This drive-by media, like Rush says, drive-by media. It's disgusting. It's sad. And that's why you gotta not pay attention to it. Just listen to what is being said from the president, from the vice president, from Kayleigh McEnany. Listen to those people. Don't listen to these people on Twitter. It's pretty sad. Alrighty, that's what I wanted to say. And yep, Mike Pence won that debate, and it was a very good, decisive victory. And hopefully we can figure out this virtual debate BS with Donald Trump, because we do need to get a second and third debate. We can't skip one because ultimately, in my opinion, skipping the debate would look really bad. So you have to do the debate, but Trump has to come in refined and polished, set like a semi Mike Pence. So let's see what happens. Alright, this has been the Small Cleaner. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you later.